Now, if you are a Cleveland Browns fan, one thing we've heard since the NFL draft is the quarterback class in 2026 is going to be better. I came up with a consensus list, or the closest thing possible to a consensus list that I can find, of quarterbacks who will be draft eligible that I've been hearing all the draft guys speak about. So I decided to start a series. So Tuesdays at 10 a.m., we'll be covering Arch Manning, Lenore Sellers, Drew Aller, Fernando Mendoza, Garrett Nussmeier, Cade Klubnik, Sam Levitt, and Carson Beck. So those are the quarterbacks that I'll be looking at every week, analyzing their tape, seeing what I like, seeing what I don't like. It's going to be next up, QB edition by Off the Record D. This is going to be week 1. And I'm going to go through each QB and I'm going to tell you what I thought about their game, some good things, some bad things, and why they're in the role that they are. Only one quarterback is going to be on the top every week. This is going to go from week to week, but that's very key. And also, these are draft eligible QBs. Arch Manning. Arch Manning is on the bottom row this week. Arch Manning did face a tough team in Ohio State. He was kind of confused by the defense. Not kind of. He was confused by the defense that Matt Patricia was putting out there for Ohio State. He did some great things with the D-line. He did some great things with safety, moving guys around, did some great things with the linebacker styles. So he did some really great things to throw Arch Manning off. This is Arch Manning's third start, I believe. So for him, some things that I like from Arch. Sneaky athleticism. I like they called a quarterback run out of shotgun. They used the running back as his lead blocker, and I was like, okay, he's pretty athletic. He did some scramble drills to the sidelines. He stayed in bounds on one, got the first down. So I was like, okay, I see the athleticism that they're speaking of. Another thing, even though you can tell he was confused and wasn't sure what the defense was doing, he didn't really look rattled. Like, where a guy is just out of it and they start to make really, really bad decisions. We have to stop he's coming out this year and stop the Heisman talk. He definitely needs a lot more starts under his belt. Now, to the things that I didn't like. He was missing throws low and high. He was missing throws. He was throwing behind some guys. So he definitely struggled with his accuracy in this game. So that's some things he definitely needs to work on and clean up. Then his footwork. His footwork was not good. He was throwing off balance. He did some things okay in the fourth quarter. For the most part, this was a very bad game for him. And I want to see him get a lot more tape, a lot more reps. That's what I want to see from Arch Manning. Cade Klubnik of Clemson. He's another quarterback that everybody has spoke a lot about. I watched him go against LSU, and I'll tell you some positives. Size, he looks like the prototypical quarterback when you see him in the pocket. He can make every throw. So arm talent is not an issue with him. You saw those things. Things he needs to work on. He needs to work on protecting the ball. I believe all of last year he only threw 6 picks, and he had a pick in this game already, and this is week 1, and he potentially had a second pick in the fourth quarter with about 3 or 4 minutes left. He was under pressure trying to make something happen, kind of threw it right to the defender. I think it was a D lineman or a linebacker. They just couldn't secure it for the interception. So he has to work on that, his decision making. You got to know you still got time on the clock. You just got to go down right there. He had an opportunity to tie the game in a 2-minute drill. They had one timeout remaining. So I was like, okay, let's put some stock in this. Let's see how he does. They had him kind of confused. They sent pressure, and the pressure they sent was from more athletic, faster guys, and it was nothing he could do. LSU closed out the game. This was not a good showing for him. That's why he's on this bottom row. I definitely want to see more from him. Fernando Mendoza. As I was doing my research and I was looking at who were the guys that everybody had at the top of boards, I came across this. CBS Sports did a mock draft about 5 days ago from the time we were recording this. They have Fernando Mendoza going number 1 overall to the Cleveland Browns. I saw that and I was like, I don't know him, but let me watch him. So I watched the game. They got to the red zone a lot. He was not able to get scores in the red zone. They kicked a lot of field goals in the red zone. So I came away not impressed. He looks like a quarterback. He looks like he's tall, lean, looks like he has a pretty solid arm. I just wasn't impressed. I wasn't impressed. I didn't see anything that jumped off the screen where I said potential number 1 overall pick, Drew Aller. So Penn State is currently, they started the year ranked number 2. They played Nevada. They have way more talent than Nevada. So I wanted to see who was going to be the star of the show. And if you watch this whole game, the skill players and running backs were the star of the show. They were the star of the show. Drew Aller, he was along for the ride. Now, Drew Aller did have a great throw where he had the ball. He's going to his left. He's a right-handed quarterback. He throws it, just kind of flicks. So he has the arm. So you can see the arm talent is there that people like. He throws it left corner of the end zone, only where his receiver can make a play. That play, I was like, that right there, my friends, is a guy who has some arm talent. So he made that great play. That was the one thing he did that popped off the screen for me. Besides that, he was just part of it. He was part of the show. He was not the highlight. So definitely want to see more. I want to see, when they were talking about these guys being number 1 overall draft picks, I want to see these guys dominate when they have the superior team. Carson Beck. I'm just going to be honest with y'all. When it comes to Carson Beck, there is some bias there with me. I look at guys who play for Georgia. Quarterbacks play for Alabama during the run when Nick Saban was there. They had all those first-round receivers coming out. I look at those guys and I say, you have to win a national championship because you usually have the skilled players there and you usually have a top 10 defense. So there was a lot of hype around Carson Beck potentially being the number 1 overall pick last year. I watched a couple games from him and I was not impressed. So him staying in college, going to Miami, getting the bag. Shout out to him for getting the bag. Just wanted to let y'all know my bias with Carson Beck. He did make a great throw. His first touchdown pass was a great throw. He was going to his left. His receiver flattened out the route to get to the ball, going for the touchdown. So I thought that was a really great throw from Carson Beck. His second touchdown, he threw it up there. I was nervous when he threw it up there because I'm like, throwing it in double coverage. Safety's waiting at the goal line for it. His receiver made an awesome play. He catches it with one hand, brings it into the body, secures it for the touchdown. So that was really good. Overall, I would say he had a really good, I wouldn't say really good. I would say he had a good game. He did leave his team on that game-winning drive. These next 2 guys, they jumped off the page with athleticism. The first guy I have here, this is Sam Levitt. I hope I'm pronouncing his last name correctly. He was also, I've been seeing him popping up in the consensus thing, so I watched this tape. He's at Arizona State. He is on par athleticism-wise with Lenore Sellers. These guys are some athletes. His 2 runs that he had were great. You see his athletic ability. He has the tools. He has the arm. Because he has a nice arm, he was getting a little lazy with his feet. I saw him throwing off his back foot, trying to drift back and make some throws tougher than they need to be. Had a really bad interception that he didn't need to have. He has to work on some small things to touch up and refine his game. Got to work on that footwork, that drifting backwards, throwing. You know, you can get away with that in college because you have the arm talent, and usually your skill players are great. Lenore Sellers. Now, a lot of people in Cleveland, this is the name I've heard the most. And they're saying this is who they like. This is who they want. Talent through the wazoo. Very athletic guy. Can make the throws. Runs a lot of RPO. His first touchdown on a called QB run. When I saw him do that, I was like, okay. I actually thought they were going to blow Virginia Tech out. It was on a 64-yard pass, dropping a bucket. Arm talent is there. Thing I will say is guys that are uber athletic, sometimes they try to do the athletic thing versus doing the easy thing that's there. So they were backed up. They tried to run the ball on first down. Then they went to shotgun. They actually had him do a pass play, which wasn't something quick. The running back was in the backfield. He didn't have to chip anybody. He could have dirted the ball to the running back and not taken the safety. He did not look for the running back. He tried to escape the pocket. He ended up taking a safety. You can't do that. Safety is worse than a pick because you put points on the board for a team that couldn't score. I don't like that decision. Some things he has to clean up. He doesn't have a ton of starts under his belt. So Lenore Sellers, Arch Manning are some guys I want to see get more starts under their belt before we just throw them into the pressure of number 1 overall pick in the NFL. Next up, top QB of week 1 in college football, drum roll, is Garrett Nussmeier. He can make all the throws. He's the prototype quarterback when you look at him physically. So if you hear me say prototype, I'm talking about physical stature. So the physical stature is there. He looks calm in the pocket, which was good. There was a lot of things happening around him, but he looked calm in the pocket that I like. They were subject to a questionable call back for a touchdown. Receiver makes a great play on a great ball. Nussmeier put the ball only where his receiver can catch it. It was over the shoulder to the right. He caught it, dragged the foot through the touchdown. Somehow they don't know. College football doesn't know what a catch is. We're in that questionable period where they don't know what a catch is. So they end up reviewing it, taking forever, and they called it back. So they robbed him of just a great play. I think that might have been his best throw I saw. The defender, it was nothing he could do. Nothing he could do. So just the level of competition he went against, him being calm in the pocket, him settling in. Towards the end of that game, he settled in. He was able to take his time, identify what the defense was doing, using a lot of motion to get Clemson to show their hand early. So just some things I really like from watching him. So for week 1, Garrett Nussmeier is my top QB of the week. Now, this is going to come in weekly installments. The quarterbacks are not going to change. The order is going to change based on their play. This is not just going to go based on stats. If you want to just know what people did based on stats, you can look at the stats. This is going to be me giving my analysis, my view, my breakdown of these QBs for the entire year. Also, with this will give me a record of how I was viewing these guys in real time. I'm going to use this as a diary of such, my quarterback diary for college QBs who are coming out. Like, comment, subscribe. Off the Record D. Remember the is THA so you can be up to date and we can keep this running diary of how we viewed these QBs who are draft eligible in real time. So shout out to y'all for watching. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.